Welcome to the Empire State. Whether you're navigating the busy streets of Manhattan or the scenic routes of the Hudson Valley, driving in New York requires a firm grasp of the rules. Please note that as of February 16, 2026, New York has implemented a stricter point system to enhance road safety. Let's make sure you're ready for your permit or license exam. What does a diamond-shaped sign indicate? Warning or hazard ahead. These yellow signs alert you to conditions like sharp curves, slippery roads, or intersections. Next question. What is the legal BAC limit for drivers 21 and older? 0.08%. Driving with a blood alcohol concentration at or above this level is considered driving while intoxicated, DWI. Let's move on. Under New York's zero-tolerance law, what is the BAC limit for drivers under 21? 0.02%. This small margin accounts for alcohol in some medications or mouthwashes but effectively prohibits drinking and driving for minors. Next point. What should you do when you see a flashing red light at an intersection? Stop completely and yield right of way. Treat a flashing red light exactly like a stop sign. Let's keep going. You are approaching a school bus with flashing red lights. What must you do? Stop at least 20 feet away from the bus. This applies on all roads in New York, even on divided highways or school grounds. As of 2026, passing a stopped school bus now carries 8 points on your license. Next question. What does a pennant-shaped sign mean? No passing zone. This yellow sign is placed on the left side of the road at the beginning of a zone where you cannot pass. Let's move on. When parking on a downhill grade with a curb, which way should you turn your wheels? Toward the curb. This ensures that if your vehicle rolls, it will roll into the curb and stop. Next point. What does a steady yellow X light above a lane mean? Move out of the lane as soon as safe. The lane signal is about to change to a red X, which means the lane is closed. Let's keep going. When are you allowed to turn right on a red light in New York? After a full stop, unless a sign prohibits it. Note that in New York City, right turns on red are prohibited unless a sign specifically permits them. Next question. Which of these is the slow-moving vehicle symbol? A reflective orange triangle. You will typically see this on farm machinery or construction equipment traveling at 25 miles per hour or less. Let's move on. What is the first thing alcohol affects in a driver? Judgment and coordination. Alcohol lowers your inhibitions and makes you less able to react to hazards before you even feel drunk. Next point. If two vehicles reach an uncontrolled intersection at the same time, who yields? The driver on the left yields to the driver on the right. The vehicle on the right has the right of way in this situation. Let's keep going. When must you use your headlights in New York? From 30 minutes after sunset to 30 minutes before sunrise. You must also use them whenever visibility is reduced to 1,000 feet or less, or when your windshield wipers are in use. Next question. What does a solid white line on the edge of the road mean? It marks the right edge of the pavement. This is often called a fog line and helps you stay on the road during poor visibility. Let's move on. If your brake pedal suddenly sinks to the floor, what should you do first? Pump the brake pedal several times. This may build up enough hydraulic pressure to stop the vehicle. Next point. What should you do if your vehicle begins to hydroplane? Ease off the gas and steer straight. Do not hit the brakes, as this can cause a skid. Let's keep going. What is the 2-second rule? A method to maintain a safe following distance. Under 2026 guidelines, following too closely now results in 5 points on your license. Next question. When driving in fog, which lights should you use? Low beam headlights. High beams will reflect off the fog and actually make it harder for you to see. Let's move on. What does a no standing sign mean? You can stop only to load or unload passengers. You cannot wait there, even if you stay behind the wheel, and you cannot load or unload merchandise. Next point. In New York, at what BAC is a driver considered aggravated DWI? 0.18% or higher. This carries much stiffer penalties, including higher fines and a mandatory 1-year license revocation. Let's keep going. What does a flashing yellow light mean? Proceed with caution. Be prepared to stop, but you do not need to come to a full halt if the way is clear. Next question. When can you pass a vehicle on the right? When the vehicle ahead is making a left turn. You can also pass on the right on one-way streets or multi-lane highways. Let's move on. What is the meaning of a crossbuck sign, X shape? Railroad crossing. Treat this the same as a yield sign. Look and listen for a train before crossing. Next point, what should you do if your gas pedal sticks? Shift to neutral and apply the brakes. This disconnects the engine from the wheels so you can safely pull over. Let's keep going. What is the move over law in New York? Drivers must shift lanes for stopped emergency or service vehicles. If you cannot safely change lanes, you must slow down significantly as you pass. Next question. When must you signal before making a turn? At least 100 feet before the turn. Giving early notice helps other drivers plan their movements. Let's move on. What is the hand signal for a left turn? Arm extended straight out. Use this if your mechanical turn signals are not working or are not visible. Next point. What is the meaning of a round yellow sign? Railroad crossing warning. This sign is posted in advance of the crossing to give you time to slow down. Let's keep going. If you are involved in a crash with $1,000 or more in damage, you must report it within 10 days. You must file report MV 104 with the DMV if anyone is injured or killed, or if property damage exceeds this amount. Next question. What should you do when merging onto a highway? Match the speed of traffic and find a gap. Use the acceleration lane to reach highway speeds before entering the flow of traffic. Let's move on. What does an inverted triangle sign mean? Yield. You must slow down and be prepared to stop to let other traffic or pedestrians pass first. Next point. When are roads most slippery? Just after it starts to rain. Oil and dust on the road mix with the water to create a slick film before being washed away. Let's keep going. What is the proper way to enter a roundabout? Yield to traffic already in the circle. Always enter to the right and move in a counterclockwise direction. Next question. If a tire blows out, you should grip the wheel firmly and ease off the gas. Do not brake until the vehicle is under control and has slowed down. Let's move on. What does a no parking sign mean? You can stop to load or unload passengers or merchandise. You cannot leave the vehicle unattended in a no parking zone. Next point. What color are work zone signs? Orange. Under the 2026 rules, speeding in a construction zone now carries a mandatory 8 points. Let's keep going. How far should you look ahead when driving in the city? About 1 block. Looking ahead helps you anticipate traffic light changes and pedestrian movement. Next question. What is the penalty for refusing a chemical test in NY? License revocation and a civil penalty. Under implied consent, you agree to these tests just by driving on New York roads. Let's move on. What should you do when an emergency vehicle with sirens approaches from behind? Pull over to the right and stop. Keep the vehicle stopped until the emergency vehicle has safely passed. Next point. What does a solid yellow line on your side of the center line mean? Do not pass. Passing in a no passing zone is dangerous and illegal. Let's keep going. When parking on an uphill grade with a curb, turn wheels away from the curb. If the vehicle rolls, the back of the front tire will hit the curb and stop it. Next question. What is a blind spot? An area around the vehicle you cannot see in mirrors. Always perform a shoulder check before changing lanes to cover these areas. Let's move on. How should you use your mirrors when changing lanes? Check them, but also look over your shoulder. Mirrors alone do not give you the full picture of the traffic around you. Next point. What is the hand signal for slow or stop? Arm extended downward. Extend your left arm out the window and point it toward the ground. Let's keep going. What color are destination signs? Green. These provide directions and distances to cities, airports, and major roads. Next question. What color are service signs? Blue. These direct you to gas, food, lodging, and medical facilities. Let's move on. When is it legal to use a handheld cell phone while driving? Only in an emergency. This includes calling 911 or reporting a hazard. Otherwise, handheld use carries 6 points as of 2026. Next point. What does a red circle with a white horizontal line mean? Do not enter. This marks the exit of a one-way street or an off-ramp where you cannot enter. Let's keep going. If you are being tailgated, you should increase the distance between you and the car in front. This gives you more time to brake gently, reducing the risk of being rear-ended. Next question. What is the final step of a safe lane change? Turn off your signal after completing the move. Ensure you are fully centered in your new lane before canceling the signal.